tits, bitch.
Hello, fiends and fiendettes. Welcome to episode 65 of the best horror podcast on 7voltmedia.com and the world. Scream Fiends. I am your host, Alex, and with me once again is Russ.
Hey, everybody.
If you're just joining us for the first time on this show, we talk about all the things going on in the world of horror. And if you're a long-time listener, you know that we oftentimes just sort of go off the rails and do whatever the fuck we want. Because that's how this show is. It's a giant train wreck, and it's awesome. Very awesome.
65
Agreed.
episodes, awesome.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
We are. We're
65
dying.
episodes.
We're dying.
Well, what do they call it? Yeah, everybody's dying.
Yeah.
Once you're born. Before you're born.
Get at us on Twitter at Scream Fiends. Let us know what you're watching, what we should watch, anything that's good. Let us know what kind of pizza you like, because I personally love pizza.
Pizza's really good.
And Chipotle, because we love Chipotle here at Scream Fiends.
We do.
And an episode would not happen if it wasn't for Chipotle.
And I'm trying to eat healthy now, too, so having that Chipotle today, oh, man, it's like I have energy.
And they do not pay us, so
No.
it's real. You know the love is real.
I would accept it. Oh, man, I wonder what I could do to get...
Imagine what we would do if they did pay us.
See,
We'd be wearing like Chipotle shirts and like
Every day.
burrito hats.
Yep,
and,
sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to try to do is, like, when they have one of their outbreaks of,
like
food
salmonella and all
I'm
that.
going to try to get it, and then I'm going to sue for free burritos the rest of my life.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I just want a free, like, once a week. It doesn't have to be every day. Just once a week, I get a free burrito. Once a week for the rest of my life.
It can even like, yeah. Who cares if you get salmonella after that? Like, you get free burritos for the rest of your life.
You better believe it.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's look for them salmonella outbreaks. I want free burritos once a week for the rest of my life. 52 burritos, man. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. In the meantime, we have a Patreon. If you want to donate to our lovely show here, feed us Chipotle, help us get better equipment, help us do lots of awesome things. You very well can, but you do not have to. Every show we do, every audio, video is going to be free, but we love your support. So if you want, it's there for you. We are on YouTube. If you're watching this right now, you've found us. Congratulations. Hooray. And if you're listening to this on iTunes or Google Play, we are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Search for Scream Fiends.
Scream
You'll
Fiends.
find us somewhere.
Scream Fiends. Yeah.
Is that it? I think that's it.
Sounds good to me.
So, yeah. All right, let's start out. We always sometimes start. Russ, what have you been watching, playing, etc., etc., etc.?
I picked up Sundered.
Heck yeah, you did.
Oh, boy, is that a good game.
Uh-huh.
I like that game. That's Game of the Year 2017, 18, 19, 20 for me.
If it wasn't for the load times.
Those load times are atrocious.
Yeah.
And also when you're in the midst of combat and it does that weird like thing where it just like skips on you like a record skipping.
Yeah, okay, so I'm glad
Was
it
it like a
wasn't
leg?
just like my PS4, because I had this fear like maybe my PS4 is dying, so that's why I was doing it.
Sure.
But if it's doing it for you too, then
For me too. I don't
something.
like that.
It's weird because they've been patching it. Like I think almost like 2 patches came out in one day, and so it's weird they haven't addressed either the load times or that weird like stuttering issue it has.
Yeah. So I want to get into how I would make the game better.
Mm.
When I say better, I actually mean worse.
Well,
But
obviously.
things that I want in the game. Weapons. I want to be able to change that weapon that they use.
Now, you know how much I love loot in any game.
Yep.
And I would 100% agree. Like, if they basically let you have armor and weapons, there'd be nothing stopping this game from just ruling at least my chart of
games this year. I mean, like
at least this year. Yeah,
I could see where maybe with Loot and you, Destiny 2 edging it out, but like this game would probably it'd be like Sundered, Nier for me, probably.
Yeah,
for the top two. Sundered, Nier, Destiny 2, everything else.
Yeah,
Destiny 2 is. I don't want to admit it, but
we'll
it's probably
see on
up
that.
there.
Yeah, we'll see on that.
I've media blacked out myself on Destiny 2 to the point where I'm not interested in it anymore. Like I don't care that it's coming out, but I think that's also on purpose so that when it's my self-defense mechanism to the anticipation. So actually, I'm like, I want to play Destiny 2 right now, but how I feel is I don't want to play it. I just don't care about it.
I think our fellow 7-volter Jason is probably gonna ruin it for all of us, just because he's gonna like we won't go into like how he has a million hours to put into it right now.
Jason will. I mean, even if he didn't have a million hours to put into it, he'd still find the time or like the effort to like have that game beat to its completion.
Oh yeah.
In half the time it'll take the rest of us.
It's going to be literally like go to work, like get home and immediately without even taking your shoes off, get on Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And
I can't do that. I have to wait till the kids go to bed.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little slow going for me, but I saw what happened when I tried to hit it hard, and so I don't want to do that.
It's going to be hard not to,
yeah.
Just because there's going to be so much new content, so much gear to get, and but this is not Tower Radio.
This is not. But Sundered, though.
Yeah.
Sundered does not have loot, but it does kind of have loot in the form of perks.
Yeah,
you can
that's a
get
good
perks.
point, because not only do you get these perks that evolve your character, but there's also ranks of those perks.
So I'm excited to see kind of how I'm using one right now, but I'm gonna start going down the path on my skill tree towards a second perk.
Okay,
because I can do that now. The level you don't level up; you just spend shards on like these nodes, and each node has 3 points on it. So you have to fill each node before you move to the next one, and you get very small adjustments to your score. But over time, as you fill this thing out, it'll be better. And like I've already noticed, like when I go through weaker areas that I previously, because you can't just teleport to areas you were just at. You have to go through the game to get back to where you were, and it's procedurally generated. And as you're going, you'll unlock shortcuts, but you can't. You still have to go through everything. So when I get swarmed by hordes as I'm on my way on like the easier areas, just mowing through them.
See, I'm wondering if any point there will be some sort of fast travel unlocked, because I know there's like 3 different, I guess you could call them worlds, at least 3. So this first one, it's like a giant map.
It is big.
But then I don't know if like maybe you can, because at your main like hub, you can either go left, right, or down. And I wonder, maybe there isn't.
I really
think
like
you're probably right with that procedurally generated aspect.
Yeah, because it changes. Yeah, it's cool. So you we talked about it, but you play as this woman. I can't remember her name. So I think it starts with an E.
Oh, it does.
I remember. All the names in there, all the naming conventions are very Lovecraftian and weird to pronounce and whatever. The only other thing I would add to this game is a journal feature, so that when you hit these crystal nodes that like give you bits of story where that elder shard talks to you, the tetrahedron or whatever it's called, would document what he says, so that you don't have to like go back to that one room to like remember what he's saying. I mean, I have the gist of it. Like there's some like high priest that was helping humanity escape something, but then humanity became arrogant, so they took everything away from them.
Yeah, and
the humanity like hit this technological place, and they're calling themselves the Valkyrie or something.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you, are Valkyries a part of H.P. Lovecraft's universe?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Like the winged things that take people to Hodin are called Night Gaunts. And they're faceless, rubbery, winged think so. Do you remember when you beat the Dog of Boreal Valley or whatever, that first boss in Dark Souls 3? And you hold that banner up to go to the next area.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are essentially night gauns, except for
That
they have
fly
like a
you to
mouth.
the undead city,
Yeah.
or whatever
I'm
it's called.
Pretty sure they're supposed to be like a shout out to night gauns, so except for they do have like a mouth and a nose. I would have preferred faceless because it's just the idea of it's creepy. Yeah, that's a really good quick read of Lovecraft is Night Gaunt. I think it's about this long. Literally, like in the book, it's like this long. But just kind of a quick little poem. It's cool, but so yeah, this is kind of neat. A neat little game. There's a theme this year in video games, and I think it actually, because we talked about on Zero XP on Sunday about like how does 2017 hold up against other ones, and this year, post-apocalyptic is the theme for all games.
Kind of is,
and
yeah.
It's kind of like, like I remember when Nintendo had the Year of Luigi. This is like the year of the post-apocalypse, post-apocalyptic shit. I mean, you got Nier, Horizon, Zelda is post-apocalyptic, or amidst apocalyptic. And
Sure.
Destiny is essentially post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Sundered is post-apocalyptic.
The Surge
is post-apocalyptic. That game, The Long Road or something, about that zombie horde weird game.
Oh,
zombie post-apocalyptic
yeah,
game.
with the motorcycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, everything has been very post-apocalyptic this year.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, like, has that kind of been how it was for the past few years?
I mean,
because I don't necessarily know that it's specific to this year, because I feel like we've gotten these kind of games like for a while now.
What can you think of from 2016 that was this way?
Mad Max?
Not based on a movie, though. I mean, that's based on... I mean, true, but that was 2015,
Oh, was it?
2015, wasn't it? Because it came out the same year as Metal Gear Solid 5, and we were making fun of it.
And Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got... That one was 2015. I mean, what else do you got? I really feel like the theme this year is post-apocalyptic.
Sure.
And, I don't know, it's kind of like... I'm looking at some games like, would these games have been cooler, not post-apocalyptic kind of a thing,
Days Gone.
That's the name of that game.
Yeah.
What did I say? Longest Day?
Yeah,
something like that. That's like a World War II movie, I think. With like John Wayne.
There's some... What is that survival game? I think it's called The Longest something, where it's like winter.
Oh, The Longest Night?
I don't know. It was. I played the early access on Steam and it wasn't good.
But despite the couple either oversight shortcomings, whatever you want to call them, of Sundered, I think it's an excellent game.
Oh yes.
The combat is smooth, and then it's got aerial combat too. Because once you get the leaping device, which is, if you've ever played a Metroidvania game, it's your double jump, which all of those games have.
Yeah.
Once you get the double jump, it's neat because when you hit an enemy in the air, it resets that device. You get one more jump. So you can, like, if you got a floating enemy, you can try to, like, actually stay in the air and keep attacking it before it, like, beelines it for you.
And it's kind of vital to do that, to, like, juggle enemies up in the air, because there's certain points where the screen is just basically flooded with all these enemies.
And the ones that really get you are the worms. You got to be careful because the worms, they just move across, and if they touch you, you get damage. I mean, it's got to be the front of it.
Well, yeah, there's those, and then there's the electrified ones.
Like the Lith versions of those, the Zith versions of those, and those ones really fuck you up if they touch you. And like those ones will actually go ballistic sometimes and move really fast.
Yep.
But those ones suck because they go along and you hit them a few times and they'll burrow and then they'll shoot out from the ground beneath you and then land and do a shockwave thing. But now those are easy to dodge. But when you have all that going on, all these other things trying to electrocute you, these worms, not the worms, the Arnia or whatever they're called. They're like these little
the slug things. Guys.
Yeah, and then you have these like orbs that just kind of float around and then turn into like stars and like shoot at you. So I mean, it gets pretty hectic. And then while all that's happening, like once you've like activated like the power in one of those like research areas, then you have these drones shooting the laser at you, and they can shoot you off screen.
Yeah.
So you won't see them. You'll just see like their laser aim. Then you have to like in the midst of fighting other things on a different level, you have to dodge that laser, keep attacking, and then make your way down to wherever they're shooting you from.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
It's almost like a bullet hell game, like a combination of a Metroidvania and a bullet hell game, like all mixed into one with Dark Souls, and it is a I think a must play for 2017. I think it's the first boss. I could be wrong because it's like crazily powerful, but it's this insane like dude sitting on giant like godlike figure sitting on a throne, and then he has like tentacles coming off of that. It's just absolutely crazy.
I can't wait to get to that point.
But
I haven't even gotten there. I mean, because I've been, you travel around, you die, then you gotta go back, because it doesn't save your progress at all. If you don't unlock a shortcut, you have to do everything you just did over again.
Yep.
But a lot of times they'll respawn the rooms with the treasure chest, so you can get a lot of shards and shit, but really, I just wish there was more weapons. Like, I wish that you could get other shards, so you have like one shard that works like a sword, so it's a lot of fast, rapid attacks.
Yep.
But then, like, because she variates her attacks, she'll do a couple quick ones and this big overhead axe thing.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to have that more customizable and purposeful. So like maybe the big axe attack will launch them into the air. Then you could switch, mid fight, switch to a different shard somehow, and then like do fast attacks through the air and like do this weird kind of crazy comboing kind of thing.
Well, I'm wondering if there's gonna be different styles of weapons like that, because I just got they call it a gun, but it's actually like this giant bazooka.
The cannon.
Yeah. And it shoots like a Shoryuken.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
Shoryuken. Turn into the Swedish chef playing Street Fighter. Shoryuken.
Yeah.
But that's really it.
Yeah.
I mean, that one, and watch Room 104 again.
Yeah, so let's talk about Room 104. The second episode is now available, has aired, and I think we can agree that it's not quite, doesn't quite live up to that first episode.
Well, it did too. I was disappointed in two reasons. One is my own fault, because I wasn't sure what Room 104 was going to be.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just going to be a bunch of scary things, and I was wrong. This one's more, it's kind of thriller-y, but it seemed fake, and it ends up being fake.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know if it's just
it'll be a week old by the time this episode airs.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah, sure. So it's like a couple, and they're faking like having marital issues, and they fuck each other in front of a pizza guy that's tied up. Then it goes to the next scene where the pizza guy's telling them that they did a good job, but they're gonna have to work on this and this and that.
Yeah.
Because ends up being a voyeurism kind of like, a person shows up as a pizza guy, then they put them through this situation.
They're basically prostitutes, but I don't think they have sex with the client, with each other.
Yeah, and I don't know. It didn't. And it had James Van Der Beek.
James Van Der Beek doesn't hold a candle to what's the other Van Der Beek? Casper.
No, that's Casper Van Diem. I don't think
yeah.
That's what was that other Van Der Beek? Falcon
Van Der Beek. Yes.
Van Der Beek. No, with the golden hand.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it. I'll just be honest. I didn't like this episode just because the first one was like so impactful and made me scared. This one just made me like
it.
It's like I didn't care.
I feel like it started off strong. Like it really had this sort of like, what the hell is going on? Like,
sure.
Because she's at first, the wife is all like weird about like staring in the bathroom, and then she like has like bipolar sort of like tendencies.
She's like nice to him, then mean to him. Then the whole pizza sex.
Yeah, like
you're gonna serve me that pizza? It's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna. I'm ask my wife that. Can
Yeah,
I serve you some
then-
pizza? She's like, you don't have any pizza, and I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna whip it out, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Just like that stupid analogy about the pizza. It was just dumb.
Well, yeah. Then she leaves, and James Vanderbeek comes back, and he's like, "Did you serve my wife the meat?"
Well, he's like cool
Meat
at
lovers.
first, but then he gets a text message, and then he turns around and is like, hey,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Then she comes in, she ties him up. I don't even want to talk about it. It's bad.
Yeah, the fact that it was
Makes me
all
mad.
staged
Well,
is yeah.
It just my problem with it is that it just wasn't as good as the first episode.
no.
I mean, it just like I thought it was going to be scary stuff, like going through like, but like then seeing the previews. I mean, there's like how they show bits and pieces.
Yep.
At one point, there's like MMA fighters in a room fighting each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
I might
Bunch of-
abandon this show.
crazy stuff. I think it's gonna be good overall.
Sure.
Like,
I mean,
it'll
what's
be
nice is
interesting.
Only 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what's really nice.
Yeah.
They're only 25 minutes, so I might stick with it. But
that's the thing. Like it's not like other shows, like even other anthology type shows. It's like you got 25 minutes to tell this sort of unique, crazy story, whatever you want to do, really. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. It all being in one hotel room. Yeah. I still want to see them do like callbacks, like visual callbacks, like in the room of things that happen. Like this one, something spills on the carpet, doesn't it?
I don't remember. Yeah. At the end, they show like a wine glass on the carpet or something when they're like panning around and seeing like clothes around and whatever, you know.
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't given up on it yet. Nah.
It is only 25 minutes. I'll watch the next one.
Yeah.
If that one sucks too, though, I'm out. So yeah, this one gets. I'd rather watch The Witch. No, that's not true.
No.
I'd still rather watch this because it's only 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Well-
yeah, apart from that, nothing for me. How about you?
I purchased Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Is it out?
It's out now,
Oh shit!
and let me tell you, it is pretty damn good.
It looked pretty interesting.
It's visually fucking beautiful. Like, when I was seeing the trailers and everything, I didn't really believe that it was going to run very well, just because it looked super good. And actually playing it runs really smooth, looks great. They use this, like, binaural 3D sound, which I've never really experienced before. But so like it's 3D sound, so the whole point of the story is like you're this Celtic kind of warrior lady, Senua, and she's kind of going crazy. She's like hearing voices and seeing these visions of these gods, and I think she's going to like rescue some, either her lover or just another one of her tribesmen. I'm not really sure on that. But she like sees visions of this priest, I guess. Like, I don't know what the Celtics called their priests. Whatever.
Druids? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But so it mixes this, when she's seeing this priest type guy, it's live action, like it's an actual actor, but the way they sort of have a filter on it kind of looks, it fits in the game without like taking you out of the experience of being like, yeah, this is like live video in a video game. But yeah, it's visually incredibly interesting. With all the like voices going on constantly in your head, and it's like coming from the right, left, and behind you. It's an experience I would highly recommend. $30.
Yeah, I remember listening. I watched a little bit of a trailer on it, and then at the end of the trailer, the like designer come out and says, "You know, this is not a AAA title. we wanted to give it AAA quality, but it's not that long, so this is why
Yeah.
it's only $30 and whatever. So
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's like 6 to 8 hours. So I mean, that's still Call of Duty. I mean, you have multiplayer that you can spend hundreds of hours in, but the campaign is only 6 hours or so.
I think the multiplayer is really what sells those games, though.
Yeah. But I mean, 6 to 8 hours really isn't that short for your standard $60 game. So I think they easily could have charged $60, but it is an act of like goodwill, being like,
Well, I know,
You
'cause
know-
I know, like some people get hung up on how much time a game takes and how
Yeah.
much you're going to pay.
right.
And if a game took 86 minutes, I mean that's kind of like, if a game's at least 4 hours, I would say it's like $60. Because you
Sure.
paid $10 for a DVD
Mm.
for that, 86 minutes long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that, like, for example, I paid $20 for Sundered, and it seems that the scope of it's really huge. I think that could have been a $60 game.
Sure.
I mean, you would have paid $60.97 for Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Mm.
So it's just like, I think that there's an entitlement attitude in the video game community. It's like, oh, I'm not paying this for that game. It's like, well, I guess you're not playing it then.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't necessarily have to wait for deals or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. I did pick up this Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark collection.
With the good art. Because I guess they
Yes.
changed the artwork for a little while. I just read something about they had changed the artwork and then went back to it.
Yep, so they re-released this, and yeah, it's all the original art. And I remember when I was a kid, like, these things, really were an influence on my gradual love affair with horror movies in general. But yeah, did you ever read them as a kid?
Yeah, I read all of them.
Yeah.
And I remember they were a hot commodity in our school library.
Mm.
It's like those ones were always out, and once you had it, you just didn't let it go. It's like, I'm gonna get it,
Yeah.
But it was funny because those aren't necessarily the scariest stories, but the imagery makes
Yeah,
them
it's
way worse.
Yeah, that art is not something you typically see in like a book for kids. Like, you had your
It's
Goosebumps.
very surreal and shit.
Yeah, it's like,
There's like that one where it's like a rocking chair like floating into space. It's like, I don't even know. I wish you could almost make a game out of that.
ooh.
Like, create like a psycho crazy game with that as the artwork.
That would be
some of that
nuts.
stuff.
Yeah, one that really stands out in my mind is like the clown, I think it is. Just because it's typically black and white
There might be a splash
art,
of color.
but then this clown had like blue and red. So yeah, that always stands out to me. But yeah, other than that, that's about. I've been watching Man in the High Castle.
Is that about Hitler?
Kind of, yeah. It's an alternate history where Germany dropped a nuclear bomb on Washington, D.C. and basically won the war. Japan holds the West Coast and the Nazis hold the East Coast. There's like a demilitarized zone in the middle. But yeah, like San Francisco and all of them are Japan, New York's Nazis. Hitler's still alive. He's gray-haired and
Until Dean Winchester kills him.
yeah. But yeah, it's the reason I started watching it was I really like the idea of like the alternate history. I like alternate history in general, but yeah, just that idea of like America under Axis regime, like. So yeah, I started watching it and I was like, this show, the pacing is terrible. Like it kind of starts right in the middle of things, so you don't have time to like grow to care about characters. So it's like, all this stuff is happening, but I don't really care about these people living or dying. But yeah, I'm still watching it. I just started season 2 now.
Why does he do this himself?
I don't know.
Stop it.
But yeah, it's
Stop it. I mean, you quit watching Sam and Dean.
Yeah, because they started doing all like shows about their fucking family.
Yeah.
And that's dumb. I want shows about killing monsters.
I agree.
But I still like the idea of it, and I want it to be good. It's just not getting there. They're doing some hero shit where, like, this one guy can, like,
wait,
teleport.
In Man on High Castle?
Yeah.
The guy that can teleport?
Well, he can, like, meditate, and then all of a sudden
outer body projection?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
neat.
And it's all about these,
Night
like,
on Coast to Coast.
These films, these film reels that, like, show alternate history as well. Like, they're trying to get these films to the quote-unquote man in the high castle, who, I don't know, I haven't seen yet. Supposedly you actually see him in season 2, but I haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy show. It has DJ Qualls from Road Trip, if you remember. Super skinny guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, the man in the high castle is not Hitler?
No.
So it's a different dude pulling strings.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man in the High Castle is like part of the resistance.
Oh.
Or so I'm led to believe.
I'm not going to watch this show.
Probably. Yeah, I know you wouldn't like it.
I like history. Like, I'll stick Band of Brothers in and watch that in a sitting.
Yeah.
Not that much. I couldn't do that. It's like 10 hours of sitting, but...
See, that's what I I wish they would have started the show, like, as the stuff was happening, like, as the bombs were dropping, as the invasion was happening.
Like Battlestar Galactica.
Yes. But no, you start out with this girl, like, all of a sudden her sister is part of this resistance, and then she gets killed, and then you're just all of a sudden following this girl and her Nazi boyfriend who she doesn't know is a Nazi, but it's not her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's this dumb guy that makes fake guns in a metal factory.
Stop.
I guess it's a kind of dumb show, but
Stop watching
I'm
it.
going to keep watching it.
Don't do it.
I want to.
Did you watch Orphan Black? You ever watch that show?
I love Orphan Black. It went off the rails just like all these shows. It starts with such a cool premise, and then it just kind of
goes too long.
Goes too far. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you gotta learn. They gotta learn how to kill shows. Hi, welcome back, fiends and fiendettes.
I guess I'll have to just do some more editing.
Oh boy,
I love that editing.
Anyways, that was Coast to Coast, AM 1500.
God damn it!
You left the Necronomicon on the. Come on. What is this, amateur hour?
Yes.
Yes, it is. But,
let's get into some news here.
You got some news? What do you got?
There's a new Friday the 13th, the game patch. I feel like we talk about this every week, even though we don't play it anymore. But there's a new patch available. Eight new character emotes. I didn't realize you could do emotes.
What? There's emotes?
I guess. There's going to be 8 new ones.
Okay.
And then fast-paced maps. I assume they're going to be tighter, so matches last less time.
I can't imagine how that's going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, they were already fast. Well, I guess it would get slow if, you got towards the end and people were just hiding.
Yeah.
And crawling along, so they didn't have any like blip registering and made it harder for Jason to find. But if you want to get through a fast map real easy, just play as Part 3, Jason. My record I think is 2 kills within like a minute.
Yeah.
Just because I looked at a blip Went there. There was 2 people in one house.
Mm.
They didn't lock the door. Just went in there and hacked one to death with the axe, and then hung the other one up on a coat rack.
That's the method I use. Just as soon as you get out of your starting little Jason shack, use your Jason vision, look for the nearest red blip, travel there.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Yeah.
If you put part 3 Jason particularly, he's got and he can run too. I think.
Yeah.
Or no, that's the second one that can run. I can't remember, but I don't care.
No.
I haven't played this game since its release, and it's because the community ruined it.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. Not until single player comes out, then I'll play it again. But
Will we get single player free?
I hope so. We paid $40 for this game,
Yeah.
so we shall see.
Yeah, the game was plagued by bad launching. The launch was bad, and then you had the community just shit. So,
Well, people got bored too fast.
and so they just started being pricks.
Yeah, there wasn't enough content.
So I mean that's kind of okay. So if you think about it, if we ever get a utopia where you don't have to do anything, post scarcity, everything's provided for you, will people just start being dicks? Probably. I hope.
Probably.
Yeah, that's great. Fuck.
Socialism.
So much for Star Trek.
Hellboy. I did not realize it now has a subtitle. The reboot,
Oh yeah.
Rise of the Blood Queen.
Didn't they tap Milla Jovovich for that?
Yes,
maybe?
she is going to be the Blood Queen, Milla Jovovich, the main villain. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the Stranger Things sheriff guy being Hellboy?
I'm just trying to put the makeup on him. Give me a second.
Yeah.
So, Ron Perlman already looked like him. You
Yeah,
just had to put
yeah.
2 horns on him.
Right.
Maybe exaggerate some features.
Paint him red.
Yeah. Why isn't Ron Perlman fucking Hellboy again?
I don't know. Guillermo del Toro isn't directing either. I don't think he's involved at all.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel
So
about that.
Neil Marshall is directing.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, come on. We all love Doomsday. We all love The Descent. Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I could see, he's got kind of, weird face.
He's not, big, though.
Yeah, Ron Perlman, I don't know how tall he is, but the way he looks like he's 6'5".
Yeah. Yeah.
But are any of the other cast returning?
No, it's going to be a complete reboot.
Complete reboot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what the hell? Why not? It could be better for all we know.
For all we know, it's at least going to be rated R. So there's that at the very least.
All comic book movies are gonna be rated R from now on.
I hope so.
Except for the ones that make money on merchandise from kids. So the Avengers and shit.
You don't think Deadpool made merchandise money?
Not from kids.
You sure about that?
From children.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of adults with Deadpool stickers and shit.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
But I think you're right too, though. I bet you that they did sell a lot. Because I mean, anytime I go out into public, I shit you not, I see a Deadpool shirt every time I go into public. Some fat nerd is wearing a Deadpool shirt. I'm not wearing a Deadpool shirt. I don't own a Deadpool shirt. I would wear one if I
have a
one.
Deadpool shirt.
I would happily wear it. I'm just saying that's just I do see it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. I would wear one. Do you think I could fit in yours?
Probably.
Do you want me to stretch it out for you?
I don't need
Turn it
anything
into a
stretched out.
Turn it into a nighttime shirt
Yeah.
for you.
Ooh. We watched a trailer.
Holy shit. Yeah, we did.
Darren Aronofsky's Mother! Exclamation point. If you do not know who Darren Aronofsky is, he directed Requiem for a Dream, which is probably one of the main reasons why I've never done heroin. Besides my distaste for sticking myself with needles. That movie, don't do heroin. Your arm will probably fall off. Yeah. Black Swan, The Fountain, which I never made it all the way through.
Wait a minute. The Fountain. Is it the one with Wolverine and
Yes.
he's trying to save his wife?
Yep.
I went and saw that in the theater.
Alternate timeline craziness going on.
I thought it was going to be like an Indiana Jonesy look for the Fountain of Youth kind of thing. I was wrong.
See, now this is what gives me a little bit of hesitance towards this Mother movie. Because by the looks of the trailer, it looks awesome.
Sure.
Looks like a genuine horror movie
Yeah.
from Darren Aronofsky.
Mm-hmm.
But I seem to remember that same kind of idea was being used with Black Swan, where this was going to be like a scary horror movie. And it turns out to be more of like a
psychological thriller.
Yeah, stalkerish sort of deal.
Sure. So my biggest scare when I saw the preview was Jennifer Lawrence.
J-Law.
But watching her in this preview was like, oh, she can scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might actually, like, I don't have anything against her personally or anything. I just never really cared for anything she's been in. I don't care about the Hunger Games.
Nope.
Don't care about those. When she goes running and she's got anger issues with that other guy that's got anger issues, and he's got the friend is something playbook, and they're like football.
Oh, Silver Linings Playbook.
That's the one.
Never
Yep,
saw it.
And so I saw that, and I didn't care about that. But she was in
I
Wolf
heard
of
that
Wall Street,
movie's.
though.
I heard that movie's supposed to be like really sad.
I don't remember.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Maybe I don't even know if I finished it.
Because they marketed it as like a comedy, and I thought it was like supposed to be like super dark.
It's like a dark comedy or something.
Oh, okay.
But then there's the Wolf of Wall Street. I didn't see that one though.
Oh, you never saw Wolf? Oh, it's good.
Is it good?
Good.
Who directed that?
What's his name? Did
Scorsese?
Yeah, Scorsese.
Okay, I should check that out then.
Yeah.
Because I liked his work. Hey, did he do Shutter Island?
Yeah.
I was thinking about Shutter Island today because I was listening to Brian Eno's fourth album, On Land, I think it's called. It's called Ambient 4 is what the album's called. So the first time I was watching it, I was like, holy shit, that's a Brian Eno song in this fucking movie. It's when he's in the lighthouse, like the first time he's going down.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie again. I remember the first time that creeped me out, and I loved the ending, but I want to see that again now. Shutter Island.
I didn't care for it.
Why not? We'll watch it, and we'll figure out why you didn't like it. Yeah, we're going to do that next week. Next week is Shutter Island.
The movie's so long.
We'll do 2 shows next week.
But yeah, the only reason I really care is Michelle Pfeiffer.
Really?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
What about Michelle Pfeiffer?
Dangerous Games.
Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds. I'm thinking of what's that Ice-T? The Most Dangerous Game. You ever seen that movie? Where they hunt people?
No.
And Ice-T is one of them. Good movie.
Sure.
Wolf with
Jack
Nicholson. Yep.
Fucks me up every time.
I don't know. Michelle Catwoman.
Oh
my God.
Stop it.
The best Catwoman.
Well, that's not hard when the other one was Halle Berry. Oh, wait. There was also what was her name? Anne
Hathaway.
She was better.
No.
She looked better.
Nope.
Did you see her butt on the motorcycle?
Did you see Michelle Pfeiffer's butt in Batman Returns?
No.
Let me tell you.
That was the most unflattering shot though in Dark Knight or whatever. The last one where she's on the motorcycle and she's gonna shoot the rocket. So then she arches her back and like lifts her butt up. I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
That scene on my DVD is skips. But yeah. So no.
Ed Harris.
See now, Ed Harris on the other hand. That guy.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think he might be like top 5 for me.
God damn, I want to watch. What is that one with Viggo Mortensen?
History of Violence.
History of Violence. Oh, What a good movie.
Can we relate that to horror somehow and watch that next week?
It's always lumped into like horror like categories for some reason.
Really? Well, I guess we can.
I don't know if it's just because it's based on a graphic novel.
Which I own. Do you want to read it?
I'd rather watch the movie.
Me too.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I always quote that line of what's the guy's name from Altered States? His older brother. When he calls him Brohim. He goes towards him Brohim or whatever. He's the boss of that gangster group.
I don't know.
And he goes back to talk to him, and that guy tries to choke Viggo Mortensen from the chair, but he gets out of it and beats the guy up. And so the guy's laying there choking because he like punched him in the throat. And he looks over and goes, "How do you fuck that up?"
Yeah, I think we could.
We'll forget, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, why not? We can do. We got no masters.
Yeah,
We can do what we want.
yeah. Let's watch Solo next week.
Ooh. Nah.
I do want to watch it again,
Nah.
but I don't think I'd want to do an episode on it.
No. No.
Some kids eat poop, and then this guy gets shot for having sex with a black lady.
Oh.
See, there's a rumor about that guy that gets shot in that movie that it was like he actually got shot. Because remember, he's naked.
Yeah.
This is in the 70s.
Yeah.
And the bullet holes appear. It's like, how the fuck did they do that? They murdered that guy.
Probably.
In real life.
Probably. I know they actually ate shit.
That wasn't real poop.
I know. Maybe. Maybe it was.
Hey, whatever helps you get off.
Maybe they really shot that guy, too. Who knows? All right. Last bit of news. Ash versus the Evil Dead. Season 3. We do not know when it's coming. There's speculation that it might be pushed back due to American Horror Story and Walking Dead.
Ick. Two shows that can't hold a candle to Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Not at all.
Can't even hold a candle to it. Yeah, Walking Dead.
We have
Can't hold that.
We have one episode left of season 2.
And then we're gonna start season 1.
And then we're gonna start over.
But I didn't watch season 1.
Yeah, I guess that'll give us plenty of time to.
It's so much fun, that show.
It is. It's like it perfectly captures the feeling of the tone of the original movies.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh,
and all the throwbacks they have.
Yeah. Well, like today they went back to the cabin.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And he talks about going back into the medieval times.
Yep. And it's like I'm hoping that the third season is like in medieval times. That'd be
at
least part of it.
That would be funny because there is some sort of deal where they can't specifically mention Army of Darkness because it's owned by someone else. So they can mention like it actually existing in the universe, but they can't reference it as like Army of Darkness as like.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But man.
So it would be cool if
fun.
they like sort of redid that to like actually make it a part of.
Let's go get matching Pablo tattoos.
Pablo.
But let's get him when he's duct taped together.
Yeah, with his legs up there. Oh man, so good.
Ugh.
All right.
Where we at?
It's time.
Well, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. This episode's movie of the week is 1985's The Year of My Birth.
Really? You were 85 kid?
Yep.
84.
H.P. Lovecraft's Re-Animator.
You killed him.
No, I did not. I gave him life.
We also this is almost an original versus remake because we both also read or audiobooked the actual H.P. Lovecraft story.
I read.
I audiobooked because you had my source of reading.
Yep. So, also, they just released this limited edition Re-Animator 2-disc set. It has the uncut version and then what's the other one called?
The integral
Version, which is about 20 minutes longer, and that is the one we watched today. Now, I don't specifically know the difference between the two, what scenes were cut and what wasn't, but this is the first time the integral version has been released in the U.S.
It looks like there's some fun special features in here.
Yeah.
4K restorations and all this and that, but there's like brand new audio commentary with director Stuart Gordon, actors Graham Skipper and Jesse Merlin of Re-Animator the Musical. Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Re-Animator the Musical. I've heard of Silence of the Lambs musical.
I think they did an Evil Dead one, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Let's go to New York. Yeah, so...
Comes with a comic book. I think it was 1991 that this comic book was released.
Mm-hmm.
It's an adaptation of the movie.
It's pretty spot on. I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's a couple things that are different. Like, a couple scenes were, like, shortened up. Like, at the end of the comic, the dad, Dean Halsey, just smashes Dr. Hill's head, whereas the other one is, like, squeezing it to death.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah, it's a really good transfer, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really clean image. Sound was great. Soundtrack, of course, awesome.
Top-notch.
But yeah, let's...
It's playful. I love it. Real quick, let's just talk about real quick the story, the actual H.P. Lovecraft story versus the movie. Just your initial thoughts. Like,
okay, so first of all, the story is set in the 1910s, whereas the movie is set in the present, and by present I mean the 1980s. Yeah. Otherwise, the assistant is never named in the story.
in the movie, he's called the Dean Cain.
Dan
Cain.
not Superman.
I like that.
Dan Cain, yep. But he's still his assistant for the most part in the movie. Otherwise,
it's got some neat. It's got what I like is that it's not like there are parallels to the actual story, like the assistant or whatever. But like even like who the other people are now, they changed. Like it wasn't a doctor at a university that like loses his head. It was this doctor during the war.
yeah.
You know, but like
no, wasn't he plane pilot?
Well, he was another medical officer that got sent to the front because it got really bad, and then he's like on his way back or something, and his plane goes down.
Yeah.
And but you know, so there's some correlations there with other things, but you know, so it's got two of the like each story in the written story. There's like they create a monster in each story.
Yeah.
And they only take two of the monsters from the actual written story.
But
there are more once the one guy learned something. But
yeah, that's kind of what I liked a little bit more with the story is I think it's maybe the first one where Herbert West creates this thing and then it escapes, and then it's kind of Herbert West is always like feels like someone is watching him and following him.
The first one, so they create it, they hit it with the reagent, but it doesn't do anything. So they go over to their other lab and then hear a scream and then just run for their lives. Herbert West and the narrator.
Yep.
And then but they knocked over a Bunsen burner, but with some makeshift Bunsen burner, and burnt the place to the ground.
Yeah.
So they assumed that thing just died, but they always kind of felt like they don't know for sure that thing died. You know, but then you know, you get your two main ones, but then there was the boxer that got killed,
which is just a tiny bit racist.
Oh yeah, in the story.
Yeah.
He that got like
compares him to a gorilla in the Congo.
It's unfortunate, but like Guillermo del Toro has said, it's like it's bad, but you have to take into consideration the period of time.
Sure.
that he was from.
Sure.
And like if he were writing nowadays, he probably wouldn't write that.
Yeah.
At the time,
Yeah.
yes. Now he probably wouldn't write that. And I know that he actually let go of some of his xenophobia and racism as he got older, and like I guess some people kind of that's what I've heard. I mean, it could just people trying to soften his racist persona.
Sure.
Well,
because it wasn't just him calling them certain things. It was like
he had a general discontent for anybody that wasn't from Providence, Rhode Island. He didn't like anyone.
Okay.
He thought New Yorkers were he shit on them too, in different things. But yeah, he was definitely xenophobic. I think is generally what's associated to him, but also racist. I mean, that is racist. I also started listening to Rats in the Walls, and the cat's name is very unfortunate. I mean, and so I can read this stuff and not get triggered. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I understand that from his time.
No, I just thought it was like a weird sort of a sign of the time, like
I mean
that people could write that way and it is sort of accepted. Yeah. But
I mean nowadays this would get shouted down so fast.
Oh yeah.
And well, I mean it should. I mean it's like for a period piece it's different. I mean because if a person from 1910 is telling a story, he's probably racist. Or not necessarily, but he could be, and it could be integral to his character.
Sure.
I don't think there was any real integralness to this person's racism in the book because it doesn't really go into anything else. I just think it was just part of H.P. Lovecraft's general idea on people in general. But it's not just black people he didn't like.
Yeah,
it was everybody.
Yeah,
but like I said, I've heard that he does kind of lighten up before he dies. But I mean, if we have any fans that I wouldn't let that turn you off from the story if you can.
For sure.
The story is really good. That is unfortunate, but the story is so good. Otherwise, so you have the boxer that gets killed, and then you have the one in that story that got me was when he figured out how to preserve the body for weeks on end.
Oh yeah,
and the narrator comes back and he finds out that Herbert West killed this guy so that he would have a fresh body to try this reagent on.
Well, he tells him that he
had a heart attack.
He
wouldn't take a stimulant.
Right. But then when they reanimate him, he goes like, "Drop the needle" or something like that.
Drop the damn needle, you toe-headed bastard, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. But
one of the things that got me is at some point a 5-year-old kid goes missing, and then when the mob eventually shows up, was it the mob or
it was just the father? The father was coming. Oh no! Wait a minute. So here's what happened in that story. That was okay. So I think that was the same as the boxer story.
Yeah.
A 5-year-old boy goes missing, and this woman goes to Herbert and she dies. He wasn't able to save her. So this Italian guy he swears that this was he Italian?
Yeah.
He swears that Herbert West killed her. And then they're not even thinking about the kid at this moment, And he goes in there to shoot him or something like that. Or he's trying to kill him. And Herbert West was he's just got like this chill about him.
But then the boxer ends up showing up, and then he sees a little arm dangling from his mouth.
Yeah.
So
he had eaten the boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. And then he shot him 6 times.
Yeah, he empties the revolver.
Yep.
Yeah, you made a point about, like, you never see that happening, like, emptying a full 6 rounds of a revolver so quick.
Yeah.
But
so, yeah, that's the book, that story for me, seal of approval, gold easily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was great. And it's like 20 pages roughly long.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really fast
It
read.
needs a 6-part miniseries on HBO.
See, I don't know if they could flesh out each part.
Oh, they could make some bullshit. Make them 25-minute long episodes.
I suppose, yeah.
Make them shorts. 25, maybe not HBO, but like just like a
Well,
6-part miniseries.
and then the other problem with that is they were clearly written like 6 separate times, because in each one he sort of rehashes previous events.
Well, it's also because the time period has changed by years sometimes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I like that, though. Where if they started each episode with, with that. If they started each episode...
Oh, instead of like a recap?
Yeah, instead of a recap, each episode is just the narrator sitting down writing about his friend. And
Sure,
he says, I
sure.
was friends with this, blah, blah, blah. So, and basically you just read that first paragraph in each story for the beginning of each episode.
Yeah.
Give me some money. I'll do it.
All right.
You could be Herbert West.
Maybe.
You just dye your hair up a little bit. A little blonder. What color are your eyes, though?
Hazel.
Blue.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Gotta be blues.
Yep.
But so yeah, we watched the movie today.
Yes.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs is amazing. I feel like Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West is sort of as iconic as Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, Tony Todd as Candyman. Like, you just can't replicate that. So if they were to ever do a remake or whatever, I just don't think it could happen. I think Jeffrey Combs sort of cemented himself as Herbert West.
What if they did a remake where it's just, instead of them being young students, they're older. So he's had to practice for a while, and like they kind of, and he's older, so they could just get Jeffrey Combs again.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, let's do this now since I forgot last time. This movie is starring Bruce Abbott as Dan the Dean Kane, Barbara Crampton as Meg Halsey, David Gale as Dr. Carl Hill, Robert Sampson as Dean Halsey, and
Who is also, that's actually a named character from the book.
yes. And as we mentioned, Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West. It was written by Dennis Paoli, William Norris, and Stuart Gordon, and directed by Stuart Gordon.
Excellent movie.
Excellent. So it starts off at the University of Zurich Medical
German
University.
words, but
yeah.
Swedish words or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Dr. Hans Gruber.
Yeah. Is not having too good of a day.
Oh, he's dead.
The other doctors... Was it other doctors? They hear a commotion.
Two police come in with a guy.
Yeah.
And there's like a lady, and she's like, "There's something going on in there." And then they hear the commotion get worse. So the police break the window, unlock the door, and go in, and they see Herbert West on top of Hans Gruber, and he drops the needle, and he's like, and then they pull him off of him. And, oh my God, you killed him! He's like, no, I tried to give him life.
Yeah, and Hans Gruber's face is like all purple. Then his eyes start bulging.
Oh, and we get some great practical effects.
Oh,
His eyes bulge and then pop squirt.
Yep.
Just pop squirt.
Blood splashes on the nurse. Yeah, it's great.
Dr. Gruber.
Great.
Al Gruber.
I always
just
love
that his name's Hans Gruber.
I always love like when people unexpectedly like get splashed with blood. Like just I don't know what it is, that reaction, and
Ugh, that would be gross.
it happens all the time in Ash versus Evil Dead.
Oh, there's
Like,
worse
there's
things too.
Yeah, there's all
Blood.
sorts of fluids getting tossed around.
Poop.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene where he gets his head shoved up that like cadaver's ass.
Yeah.
And the wiener's dangling like right here.
Yeah. Oh man, that show.
I love that show.
Yep. And then it goes, and we are at the Miskatonic University. So they bring back the Miskatonic.
Yep, and they're what you get is the scene is Dean Kane, just kidding, Dan Kane, is trying to revive a woman, and he fails.
Yes, he is.
And the doctor's like, you gotta let him go.
Yep.
Because he's like a student doctor or whatever.
Yeah, and he does not want to give up on reviving people.
Nope, he really wants people to live.
Yep.
Then he ends up wheeling the body downstairs to the morgue. He goes in and he moves his hand out of the way of this one, and then it comes back and he kind of walks around. And on his way out, though, he sees Dr. Carl Hill working his laser. He's got a new laser skull cutter kind of thing, and he uses it to perform lobotomies. And so he's kind of watching, and then Dean Halsey comes in with Herbert West.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that with the laser, he lasers a hole in the skull, and then he takes a Q-tip, dips it in the skull, and it's weird because it looks so real.
And it's good too because that hole in the Q-tip is drawing you away. Because I looked at the whole makeup thing because I like makeup. Yep. You could see that it was the way the eye was. You could tell that wasn't a real head. When you see the eye, it looked weird, and you could kind of tell this is.
Well, but that's why it worked though, because
it draws you away from that.
Yeah, because and that with the eye being closed,
Who's
you don't have to worry about
this one?
Huh?
Who's the makeup artist?
I'm not sure, but they did a fantastic job.
We'll do I'll do a shout out next episode for that.
Yep.
But, man. So Herbert West comes in.
Yep.
And he's a smart ass, and I love it. He comes in and he's like, kind of checking everything out, and he's very egotistical and kind of shits on Dr. Carl Hill for plagiarizing Dr. Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
And right to his face right away. Just immediately shits on him.
Yeah, and he always sort of gives him shit about the idea that the human brain
can only live
6 to 12 minutes. Yes.
And obviously he doesn't agree with this.
Yeah.
It can last longer than that because he's figured it out.
Yep.
But
then we see Dan Kane putting up a notice on the bulletin board for an apartment to share.
Yep. And then his girlfriend comes around the corner, and they kind of talk about why can't she join him and whatever. And then they start kissing, and she's like, no. And then it goes,
yes,
cut.
Yes.
When he is having sex with her.
Yep.
And here's where that 20 minutes came from. The uncut version. It was just them talking in bed for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure that was in the original, but it just seemed like it went on.
It goes on a really long time.
But yeah, and it seems like they're just talking about nothing for him.
Yeah. Well, they talk about how she can't move in with him because the dad is old-fashioned, and she can't marry him because she thinks that would look bad, or I don't know.
Well, because she says that marrying him because he needs to pay rent is a bad
start,
base for a marriage. But she gets dressed and then goes she goes to the door, and Herbert West is there, and he just brings up the little note that Dean I'm gonna call him Dean, fuck it, that Dean Kane left on the thing. And he comes in and they're showing him around and stuff, and she's reluctant about letting him move in. She doesn't want Dan to do it because she doesn't know anything about him.
Well,
which I thought was kind of why you wouldn't know anything about anybody coming over.
She immediately thinks he's a weirdo.
Well, he is.
He is, but yeah, I don't think she knows him well enough.
Yeah, man, Jeffrey Combs is so cool.
But we forgot to mention we meet Rufus the cat.
Yes, I'm sorry. We meet Rufus the cat.
Gets thrown on top of them when they're in bed.
Literally, just
someone tossed a cat on top of them. Yeah, so Herbert West wants to share the apartment. He asks if there's a basement, which they go down, and he's like,
"This is perfect."
Yes. Whips out a wad of cash, and Meg is kind of trying to get Dan to say no, but
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then so she leaves.
Yep.
Then is that when they have the the dinner scene?
No, there's
Is it the class?
Dr.
scene?
Hill. Yeah,
Yes.
Dr. Hill is giving a lecture. Herbert West is in attendance, and
I love it. So Dr. Hill is like showing them how to take the scalp off of a head, and so they can get to the skull to cut out the brain. And as he's going through theories that Herbert West doesn't agree with, he just breaks a pencil, and then he looks at him, and it's like this like really like tense moment. Then he goes a little bit longer, and he goes into his thing where the human brain can last for 6 to 12 minutes. Then he breaks a pencil again. He goes, "Well, that's it for class. We'll talk about where the whatever is next class." And Mr. West, I suggest you get a pen.
yeah.
Then Mr. West confronts him and talking about how can he teach this drivel and blah blah blah.
Yep. Then we get the dinner scene where Carl Hill is having dinner with Dean Halsey and Meg, but Meg has to go because
She's at a study date with Dean Cain.
And
Dan Cain.
here Carl Hill is like the creepiest,
Oh my god!
date rapey sort of whatever.
So
but,
his face, anyways, is like 20 stories long.
yeah.
So he looks like an alien, and then he's doing like this like this really So I didn't realize it at first. You know, I know because I've seen it, but like he's used like the first time I saw this, he's talking to him. I thought he was just planting a seed of doubt into Dean Helsley's face, but he's actually using like suggestion. He's like using a power
Hypnosis,
hypnosis and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah. Sorry, I have one contact and I'm fucked up here.
Yep.
But
then Dan comes to pick up Meg, and
they shake hands and they kind of go back. But yeah, so Dr. Carl Hill's always like, Meg, you should stay here and sleep here because you're tired. You should definitely not go. I'm going to touch your vagina.
yeah.
I mean, it's just creepy.
Super creepy.
But he like, she's like, no. And like, so you can tell that she's getting creepy. And so Dean what's his name? Dan,
Halsey?
No, Dan Cain kind of like nudges her. Then they get going and they talk about how he's creepy and they're back at the house at their.
Well. So this is where Dr. Hill uses that hypnosis on Dean Halsey to like plant the thought that
Cain hanging out with West is a bad idea, and
and Herbert
Cain,
West is dangerous.
And
he
so,
keeps on like that.
So
it's
Cain
a dangerous situation, dangerous for Meg.
Yeah,
and
he
so
keeps talking about her beauty.
Yep, and it totally works. Dean Halsey is now on the Herbert West hate train.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then it's back at the house. They're on the couch talking, and she goes to read a book, and he leans in to kiss her, and she's like, "No, I'm reading a book." And then they're getting kind of argument about Herbert West living there, and she's like, "Have you even seen the cat? The cat hates him. Have you seen the cat?"
Yep.
And then they haven't seen the cat. Then like, "Oh, let's go look for him." So they're looking around for him, and she goes into Herbert West's room, knocks on the door, and he's not in there. But the refrigerator's open, and she finds Rufus.
Rufus is dead in the fridge.
Deceased.
Yep. And Herbert West then walks in.
What are you doing in my room?
Thought this was a private space to rent.
Yeah.
And
he's being a smartass about the whole thing. Like to her.
Yeah.
Like they found their dead cat in his room, and he's being an ass. I just love it.
Well, and he makes a good point. He's like, yeah, the cat got its head stuck in a jar and suffocated. I didn't want you to find it that way, so I put it in the fridge so it wouldn't smell.
What do you say? He's like, what did you want me to do? Leave a note? Cat dead. Leave details to follow.
Yeah.
But they leave and she's mad, so she leaves or whatever, and he's like, I gotta get him out of here. He's mad too. But then
he
goes to bed.
Well, no, he goes and he uses the serum on the cat.
But Dan's sleeping and he hears the cat scream.
Oh.
So he goes down to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And Herbert West is fighting this cat off.
Yeah.
So they both end up fighting the cat, and it's a great scene of Dan Cain just grabbing this cat and just winging it at the wall. Just like,
destroys the cat, breaks its back.
Yeah. So he's like, what happened? I thought the cat was dead. He goes, it was dead. I just used my reagent. And he's making, I love that, like, you see this, like, Herbert West find a kindred spirit in him. He's making him read his notes and sharing his research.
Yep.
And he goes, it can't be. Well, do we both agree that the cat's dead now? Yeah. So he injects him with the shit. And the cat starts again. He's like, oh, my God.
What does he say? Don't expect him to tango?
Yes, don't expect him to tango. He's got a broken back.
Yeah.
But as they're doing this, Meg walks back in. God, she's really annoying. I agree with Mr. West on this. She needs to just maybe knock or something. But she comes down. She's like, oh, my God, blah, blah, blah. She's freaking out, and she runs upstairs. Dan Cain follows her and explains, you don't understand. He's got this to work, and we're going to figure it. So Dan's on board with this whole thing. And, but at this point, she's already gone to her father.
Yeah.
And so I think is the next scene then the meeting between Dr. Dan Cain and then Dean Halsey?
Yeah, in his office. And he's threatening... Well, he says that Herbert West is now kicked out of school.
Yep, Herbert West is kicked out.
And Dan, he's in danger of, like, losing...
Well, his tuition's rescinded, so now he has to pay for it. He goes, well, I can't pay for it. So he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So he comes out. He's upset. Obviously, he comes out, and she's like, I'll talk to my daddy. It doesn't matter. It's too late. He goes, but he'll listen to me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then Herbert West comes around. She's like, this is all your fault. And they kind of get in an argument. And she's like, and he's like, no, this is bigger than us. Like Dan's that's kind of what he says, something along those lines.
Right.
And so they come up with this plan.
Well, they need fresher bodies.
And they want to try out the morgue.
Yep.
And so, even though they're kicked out, Dan somehow manages to finagle his way into the morgue by putting...
He's like buddies with the security guard down there.
Yeah.
So he puts Herbert on a gurney.
With a sheet over him.
And a toe tag.
With toe tag and stuff. And then they get in and he puts his shoes back on. So how did they pick the body out? Oh, they're just going through the toe tags and reading them.
Yeah. And all of them have like pretty severe, like either they've blown their head off with a shotgun or have some sort of terrible disfigurement how they died.
Yeah, and they're running out of time. So then what they do, they finally pick a guy and hit him with the stuff, and it works.
Yeah.
But he's violent, and he starts attacking him. And then Dean Halsey's making his way down.
Well, he calls down there first, and no one answers. So, I think...
because the guard went on a break or something.
Yeah.
So he comes down to see what's going on, and he gets attacked by the guy.
Yep.
And it kills him. Oh, yeah, because that monster just beats him up, and they're trying to... Herbert West and... Dan Cain are trying to pull the guy off him, and
he's just throwing him against the wall, like
smashing him. And so finally, Herbert West takes a bone cutter and a bone saw and it's an electric bone saw. And he shoves it through his back and comes out. It's a good effect. I like that. That's good. So then that guy stops being alive again, but also Dean Halsey died, and so Dan's like, how are we gonna get away from this? It's like, well, let's bring him back to life.
Yeah, Herbert West is really adamant about we're never getting this opportunity.
This is
like
as fresh as it's gonna be.
Yeah, without us actually killing someone.
And so they do bring him back.
Yes.
And he is mad.
Yeah.
And he's got them both by the neck. And he's got them both by the neck. But then the daughter comes in because the security guard sees what's going on or something. But the daughter comes in too again, Meg.
Well, and the security guard's like, fuck that, and drops his porno mag and just runs out of there. And
well, she's like, Daddy, and he drops him and then cowers. Because for some reason her voice he can remember.
Yeah.
And then the security guard comes in and says, "What's going on with the gun again?" And Herbert West makes up the story about how Dean Halsey went nuts. And he went to attack them with this bone saw and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Dan kind of goes along with it, and she can't believe it. And so now he's crazy and whatever.
Yeah.
But then it's the next scene, Halsey in the I Love Me jacket in the little padded room?
No, there's a short scene where Dan walks in with Herbert trying to shoot up.
That's right. Yeah, he needs help because and then he's like, "What are you doing?" And well, apparently he uses this reagent to stay awake.
Yeah.
So it's like a upper.
Yeah, but he's shaking too bad and he can't get the needle in the jar to get his dose, and then he ends up having to Dan has to shoot up Herbert for him.
Yeah, and he does, which is funny because he's kind of ruined his life. You know, the girl doesn't want anything to do with him, and so then we get the scene where Dr. Hill is trying to convince Meg to let him do exploratory surgery on her father because he wants to see what happened.
Yeah,
that made him snap, and so she agrees to it. But
well, and then so Dr. Hill finds out that Dean Halsey is dead, like he has a broken neck. Like
once he does the exploring, he does, and then he finds out that he is dead, and so he figures out that they figured out a way to bring them back. So he figures out that Dr. West has in fact got this to work, and he wants it now because he's a plagiarizing piece of shit. Shitty. He's not even a second-rate scientist. But so there's that.
And then he goes to the apartment down into Herbert's lab.
Yep.
And finds his notes and whatnot. Figures out what's going on. Herbert's there, and he tries to use the hypnosis thing on Herbert.
And it seems to work at first.
Yeah.
But then Dr. West snaps out of it and whacks him with a shovel.
Yep.
But so what's weird is like he wants to use West as an assistant.
Yeah. And he wants to. He says that Herbert's he's gonna be famous. But
like Herbert West doesn't want to share that. I don't blame him.
No,
I wouldn't want to share that either. Maybe with you.
So he hits him with the shovel and then chops his head off with the shovel.
Yep. And so then he reanimates his head.
Yep. And the body. Like he injects both the head and the body.
And he wasn't. And he's trying to. He goes, "Okay, now tell me what you're thinking." And he says, "You, okay, you bastard."
Yeah.
And he says, "You bastard." And then what Dr. West doesn't see is the his body coming up behind him. And he grabs him and smashes his head off the table. So why didn't he just kill him?
I feel like he still needs Herbert at that point. But yeah.
Yeah. So, but then he takes everything and he leaves. But then Megan, just Dan comes back, right?
Yeah.
Finds everything sprawled out, and he wakes up Jeffrey Combs. He's like, "What's going on?" He took everything. Oh
yeah,
shit.
He's freaking out because all his years of work is gone.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, he's gonna, we'll wait it out because he's gonna come back for us anyways. And then Dan realizes that he's not coming back for them because they found in Dr. Hill's office that he's got a folder on Meg.
Yeah.
So he's like, wait a minute, he's going to go after Meg. So then they figured out that they're going after Meg. So then he leaves right away. But then Herbert West comes up with a plan. He's going to try to inject Dr. Hill with too much of the reagent to overdose him.
Yep.
And but at the time, while they're figuring their shit out, Dr. Hill has figured out that he can lobotomize corpses and then hit them with the reagent and uses like suggestive power to control them.
Yes. So he has this like army.
He's like a fucking necromancer.
Yeah.
But
which it ties into the book, the last part of the book or the story as well.
Yeah, because I can't remember the name now, but the guy that they met during their time in war, their friend and surgeon who helped them get a place there, he's this headless man.
Yep.
And so he goes to the psych ward to get Dean Halsey out, or who was Dr. Halsey too. In the book, he was also a doctor, and he was helping. He was in the story The Plagued Demon or something like that, or The Plagued Dead.
Something like that, yeah.
But he died because he was helping people with typhoid, and he was taking on cases, like hopeless cases, and pretty much it just killed him. And when they used the reagent on him, he actually went on a murderous rampage and killed like 7 families before they finally caught him. Put him in this thing where he beat his head against the wall for 16 years.
Yeah.
But then the guy without a head shows up and demands his release, and they wouldn't give it to him, so they started a riot somehow there at the thing, and he broke out. And then they end up trying to track down West. But in this, he's got his army there on gurneys, and so they're just unassuming looking corpses, and you don't think anything of it. He's like, and so Dr. Hill's like, you're such a fool to come here, and he goes, and I love like fucking Jeffrey comes smarmy, I have a plan. And then Hill's like, so do I. Then all the zombies come up and attack.
Well, does he have Meg there?
Oh shit, we forgot about the worst part of this movie. It's not bad, but it's just gross. Like, so he convinces the dad to come in and take, because the dad shows up and takes the daughter. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so he fights them off or whatever, takes the daughter, lays her on the table, and on like a gurney, strips her, ties her down, and then the body comes up and lifts his head up, and he starts like kissing and
and then he's fondling like.
Yeah, so like he's talking about how I've always admired your beauty.
Yeah.
And then he like licks her boobs and stuff, and he's about to go face first into her vagina. Like, so the head is holding him like that. The body's holding him, and he's gonna put his face into her vagina. But then that's when they break in, I think, to stop him. Yeah. And then Herbert West has his. You mean you've got you've stolen my information on how to like bring life back, and you're traipsing around with this lady? You're not even a second-rate scientist or something like that. And then we get the big fight scene.
Yep, all the reanimated corpses pop up, and they're in various.
But they're all violent.
Yeah,
and they're attacking, but the girl convinces, like, as she's screaming, so then her father, Dean Halsey, actually comes to and starts fighting to save her.
Yep.
And Dan's fighting, and then they're about to get away, but West is like, no, I have to try this. So he pulls out 2 syringes full of the reagents, like, time for overdose. And he like runs over and stabs him, and then it does like make him like he can't handle it, so it's like everything goes wrong, so he loses control of the other zombies. And then her dad comes over and crushes his head, and that was awesome looking.
Yeah, like it's not a quick smash, like he really squeezes until it just eventually just pops.
And then the body kind of like falls backwards, hits the wall, starts opening up, and then the large intestine whips out like a whip and wraps around Herbert West's face and is like dragging it in. Meanwhile, the other zombies rip Dean Halsey into pieces, which is actually in the book what happens to
Herbert West.
Herbert West gets ripped to pieces by this thing. Not Dean Halsey is one of the ones that does the ripping of Herbert West. But they're going to get away. But Herbert West goes, "Take my notes." So in his last ditch effort to save his research, he throws his notes to Dan Kane, and they make a break for it. They fight off one zombie, go into the elevator, and he's like, "Are you okay?" She says no, and then a monster guy comes in and grabs her by the neck, and he can't get her hands off, so then he runs out of the elevator, grabs an axe, comes back and cuts the arm off, and pulls the arm off of her neck, but it's too late.
She is
been
dead.
choked to death. Yeah.
Yep.
So they rush her into a room, and you get a scene like the first scene from the movie where he's trying to save her, and the same lady's like, "It's too late, Dan.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do."
But there is now.
Yep.
Now there is.
So you get the scene of him injecting her with reagent, and then it goes black, and you hear her scream.
Well, there's that really cool, like, it goes black, but you can still see the glowing needle as it's injected. So all you see is like the neon green slowly depleting, and then we get the
scream. which is kind of reminiscent of the first monster they make.
Mm.
Despite not being to the book, I love this movie.
Yeah.
I love the book a lot too, but this is a situation like most people like books more than movies.
Mm.
I'm generally the opposite. I usually like the movies more than the books because I don't have to read. In this instance, I enjoy both equally.
Yeah, the story goes into a little more detail of like Herbert West being kind of like pissed off that these so-called doctors are so puritanical and unwilling to like take risks and like I don't know.
Yeah, and they do mention that in some of the stories in the book. They do talk about that, like how he feels about.
Well, that's
that.
what I said.
Oh,
like,
because I thought you were talking about the way he acted in the movie.
no, that's what they don't get into in the movie.
Yeah, not as much. I mean, he does snap on Hill like twice.
Yeah.
You know, but it talks more. It goes more into the fact that it's not just a feud between him and Hill.
Right.
I mean, there is a feud between West and Halsey in the book, but there's still a degree of respect because of the bravery that Halsey showed during the typhoid fever plague in Arkham.
Yeah.
You know, during that period. But the book definitely gets a gold for me. So I'm gonna go there with that. But yeah, I know the special effects in this movie, awesome.
And it's just such a good movie overall. Like,
I mean, the pacing is fun.
Besides the extended, like, so that's the problem. We don't know necessarily like what's extended and what's.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen them both, and I don't know. I couldn't tell you the difference.
Yeah. But in any case, yeah, I mean, the pacing is great. Like, you don't really have a lot of downtime. Like, stuff is always kind of happening, like whether it's with the cat or just dead bodies, just practical effects. Just
it's good. I'm gonna go gold on this one.
At the very least,
it's one of my favorites, and I love it. It's fun. I mean, what's funny is like the music is almost playful, even you know, and so this movie's too much fun.
Yeah, that theme it has like one of the best themes out there. Yeah.
So I got to give Re-Animator a gold.
I completely agree. At the very least, I would give it a gold.
I mean, platinum, no, but like, we even have a platinum. I mean, what would be a I can't think of a platinum movie, but this is definitely a gold for me.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Scream Fiend Silver Approval Gold from the both of us.
All right, get at us on Twitter at Scream Fiends. Let us know what you think of Re-Animator. Is it the best movie that was ever made? That's debatable, but let us know.
We also want to send out a shout out to the Dance Commander.
Special thank you. Supporter of on Patreon.
Yep. Mr. Kyrie. I don't know. Brandon.
Yep.
So
thank you very, very much for your support.
Thank you very much.
Very much appreciate it. You can also join Brandon on patreon.com/screamfiends if you would like. We would love it. We love Brandon.
Yep. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
He said that he likes the idea that he's feeding us. But so yeah,
7voltmedia.com. You can catch all these shows that our people do. Zero XP Podcast is the video game podcast. Tower Radio, if you're into Destiny and you're looking forward to Destiny 2, that is what that show is all about. Freedom, Anime, and Professional Wrestling is the Anti-Seinfeld show. It's a show about everything. I don't know.
yeah.
Subscribe on iTunes or the Google Play Store for your audio podcast. Subscribe on YouTube if you would like. We would love it. Hit that like button, etc., etc., etc. From us at Scream Fiends, so long and farewell.
See ya. Bye.
Farewell.